How we experience life is a function of the intention that we create and the attention that we bring to it. An example in my life is the experience I have of peace. The intention I created about 7 years ago. I'd read the surrender experiment, and I'd for a long time had this idea of what inner peace was, but it illustrated it to me in a way that had me choose it. And I began putting it front and center, using it as my measuring stick for, the choices I was making, where I wanted to place time, who I wanted to experience time with. And then 2 years after that, I deepened that intention, making some life-altering decisions. I let go of alcohol. I committed to a daily morning practice. I began fully putting peace front and center in my life. And as a function of that, the attention I give it is every morning I spend between an hour to 2 hours in a daily morning practice. It begins with slow mornings, not setting an alarm so that I don't have those cortisol spikes that I used to when my alarm would go off. I have space in my morning to allow for my body to wake up and to start each day with that experience of peace and divine connection that the practice is intended to cultivate. It allows me to connect to my creative energy. And, an example of that right now is, after I sit in this process, a lot of these videos that I record are a function of ideas that are planted, and that, over the course of sitting with them, a message comes through and calls to me to express it in a video like this. And sometimes I'll reach out, like this morning I reached out to a friend who was on my mind, and I just felt a lot of deep love and connection to, and so I reached out to invite her to lunch. I connected with my daughter because we're planning some special time together this weekend. So that's a present example of what intention and attention looks like for me. Now, in a completely separate example, I think about what happens in my yoga practice. For the past year and a half, I've been practicing Ashtanga yoga, and the teacher I practice with, she brings both intention and a level of attention to my practice. I mean, she's been practicing for 20 years and consistently for the last 6, I'm gonna guess it's 7 now, because it was 6 last year when I started with her. But the level of intention that we're consistently making progress, that we're working through a series of postures that have a progression to them, and the attention she gives to the opportunity for progress to happen by how we move in those postures, and the opportunity for growth has, unlike many other things that I've ever done, given me an experience of new levels of mastery. And I still have a long way to go. Like I tell her all the time, I think some of these postures are like a 10-year opportunity for me. Some of them I've already, one I just recently captured in a year and a half. Some may think that was long. I didn't anticipate I was getting there anytime soon. But again, it's another experience of I enjoyed seeing that there was a continuum that I could progress along. And, you know, 2 to 3 times a week, she reflects back on me where those areas of growth are for me and guides me through that process like she does the other members in our class. And I was reading an article on how pickleball players sometimes get stuck in this loop of playing too much recreational pickleball if they have the intention to grow as a competitive player. Sometimes playing casually can get you stuck. I've experienced that twice before in my yoga practice, where the practice was just, it was gentle and inclusive, but man, was it casual. And that was the frustrating part for me as somebody whose intention was to grow in my practice, continually practicing with, part of the challenge was I would practice with different teachers all the time. There was no consistency there. The other thing that I would experience was just the level of intention that was brought. If it was to have a nice experience, it totally did that every single time. I left relaxed. I enjoyed the, atmosphere, and I hit a ceiling pretty quickly in terms of my progress. So depending on what our intention is, finding, those teachers or guides or communities that will align with that intention makes a big difference. I know as I've been, doing these, weekly intention and alignment sessions each Monday, that my week has been beginning with a new level of intention. It sets the week as a container for, what I feel like I'm here to create this week. And it's a new level of energy that I've been bringing to it. So, a little seed dropped into my head this morning about the concept of intention and how I'm experiencing it. I've had these experiences over the past 5 years, but my current experience and what I bring intention and attention to right now is teaching me a lot about this powerful life force that these two different aspects of our experience bring to us.